Thank you, man. Thank you for agreeing. Thank you for being episode 3.
No,
The
I'm
Return
glad.
of the
I'm,
Jedi.
I'm honored to be invited. Actually, I'm
So,
honored to be invited to
do
talk
it.
a little bit to you.
Man, this is awesome,
Appreciate
dude.
the invite.
I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and I wanted to do it with you. So there's something that we've had great conversations during all this times. And I think one of the cool things that COVID brought me was your friendship, dude. That is the only thing that I can say, hey, thanks to COVID. That's where we started talking more, stopping by your office and picking your brain. I'm like, man, who is this guy?
Right.
And it was nice, man. So now it started as a friend, but now I consider you as a brother, man. And that is a cool thing.
Likewise. Yeah,
Because-
we've done a lot of ventures together. Yeah.
We've been open, transparent, be raw, and nowadays, man, those relationships are very hard to keep. And you're the type of person, dude, that I have friends, and I have plenty of friends, and I don't mean that in a bragging way, but there's friends I'll say, hey, I'm gonna pray for you, but at 6 o'clock I'm done, all right, and that's okay.
Right,
We
yeah.
respect that. But then you have the 3 o'clock a.m. friends, where like if I call you, you'll probably answer and say like, what do you need? I'll take a shovel. Do I pick you up? Or I meet you somewhere? And then you're gonna tell me like, bro, you messed up. Like, go make it right. Like, I helped you, but go make it right.
That's right.
And
No,
that
for sure.
is raw, man.
For
That is
sure.
amazing, dude. So, Chris, welcome. Thank you for doing this. man.
Awesome, bro. Ready
So-
to get it going. Perfect.
So talk to us, bro. Cabello, how did it start? Started with your dad, Mr.
Well,
Hector.
it did start with my dad back in the early '70s. He was working with his brother back in the '70s before I was even born, and he had a little tiff with the brother, so they separated, and he started Cabello Recovery Service, and we were there located on Guadalupe Street, and yeah, this was in the early '70s, and ever since then, it's just keep going. I guess we'll get into all the specifics, but
Yeah, dude, because
that's
I
when it
know
definitely started.
we saw some pictures, and then this is the one that you had in your vault.
Yeah.
But one of them had a number of a 210 number. When Laredo had an area code of 210.
210, and there was a 512, and then but yeah, it's dating back that far. I can remember because I couldn't even reach the floor of the wrecker, and I would just look over at him, and he'd be shifting the gears and always trying to educate me, always trying to give me that life lesson, that life lesson, whether it made sense to me or not, but every time that I'd be with him, he'd give me the life lesson.
That's awesome. Dude.
That's one thing I miss about him right now, but the life lessons. And some of them, those of you in that generation who knew my father
No.
he was very, what's the word for it? Unorthodox? Is that the right word? He was out there. He was intense. There was no doubt about it. You had to know him. You definitely had to know him to understand what I meant. But he was not your typical loving, giving father that would take you fishing and give you advice about women. He'd give you advice how to make money. That's what he would do. I'm going to show you how to make money, and I'm going to teach you. I'm not going to give it to you. I'm going to show you how to do it,
And it's good, man. I think we need those lessons. But the cool part about this, man, and I know we've talked about how your dad was, and he was old school, bro. And it's like, hey, you want something, go get it on your own and go figure it out. But it still didn't make you a hard, cold person. And that's one of the cool things that I like, man, because you still care for others. Now, they cross you, that's a whole different ballgame, and that's fine. Like, it's like, hey, relationship stays, you're on your end, I'm on my end.
Yep.
And that's fine. But that is a cool thing about it, dude. And that's what makes me kind of like, man, how did he do that? Like, how do you do that, right? So, look, you started working with your dad from a very young age. It was like he wouldn't even pay you. I mean, because he was feeding you already. You live under his roof.
And he would actually remind me when I wanted to get paid. He would tell me, and I guess we'll get into that later, but yeah, he would say, you live in my house, you eat my food, and you can't help me now and then. Of course, and I was like, you're right, yes.
Yeah.
And then he would always come and tell me, son, when I would work late nights, he'd call me. This was when I was already older.
Yeah.
He would call me at, hey, I need you to do this call at the bridge or go do this at 3 a.m. and not pay me. He goes, son, and we'll get into this later, I'm sure. But son, all this is going to be yours. What do you mean you want me to pay you? All this is going to be yours. And at the time, I had a family I had to support, and he was like, "You better you better hustle it somewhere." And then, but he was that type of individual, but definitely.
And we will, dude, because that's a whole other ballgame right there that we're going into. But okay, so you're living with, you're still young, living with your dad, and then you go and you're finishing high school, and you go into the military.
I got to say, I'm not, and I'm not proud of it, but it is part of my life. I never graduated high school. I went to Nixon in high school. I never graduated. I literally dropped out towards the end, maybe of my middle of my junior year, maybe end of my sophomore. I just didn't like it. And I was given the ultimatum to where you're going to do something because you're not living in my house. No. If you're just going to be a bum, straight up. You're not going to live, you're going to be a bum. And so I had options. And the only options I had was either find my own job or join the military. Yeah. And then, of course, we're talking back when I was already 18, 17, actually, going to be 18. Yeah. I had to wait a little bit before they let me go in because I didn't have the 18 cut. I think I dropped out of high school when I was 17. Which I'm not proud to say, but it is part of my life. Yeah. I'm not going to say that, I never went to prom. I never went to a prom. I never went to my graduation. I never went to a school dance. Maybe when I was in elementary, the school dances, but not in high school. None of that. I didn't participate in any of that. And I regret it now. I do, because I missed out, especially like the class reunions that they're having. You know what I mean? I was like, yes, people remember me, of course, but I never participated in any of that. And it's unfortunate, but it is part of my life.
Yeah, it's nowadays, bro, it's like whatever. You think about it and you're like, no big deal. But
I think about it now and say that, it's not a big deal. It's just what I just didn't want to do,
Oh, dude, I didn't know that. I thought you did, but so, okay. The option is that, and then you go into the military, bro.
Fun times. Yep. Military was fun. It was fun. It is definitely fun. Back in 1988, 89, militaries were a lot different than they are today. There's no doubt about it.
So we have a picture, man. And this is, I don't know, it looks like you guys are doing a carne asada. But it's not, because we have some.
No, we're probably boiling water or waiting to get picked up,
So you were in Desert Storm.
Desert Storm, yes.
You served, you were there all
I was there for a whole year. So we were deployed back in the early August when Saddam had the threat happening. So we were put on alert. So we were the first ones, one of the first ones there. Of course, you got your SEALs and your special forces that got there way before us. But us, as grunts, we just got there, early, and we were one of the last ones to leave. Well, I think we were. It was
you were spreading freedom.
Spreading freedom, yeah.
Absolutely.
You want to call it that, sure. Just raining oil. That was fun time. I'm telling you, fun times back in the desert.
Dude, we were talking about this the other day, and you were saying that you would go out and it was raining oil, like literally raining oil.
You go walk outside, there was just oil in the air. You'd get, after you're outside doing whatever you're doing, whatever drill or training or, what you were doing or getting ready, setting up camp, because we were always moving. You always had to move, so you're setting up camp. So when you get back to your tent, there were no barracks, there were no air conditioning, not for us. Yeah. And we were always in full gear. And that was before the ground war started. There was all air attacks. You could see the light show for when we got there. And we had to wear mop gear. Mop gear is the chemical gear that rubber suits, gloves, gas masks. That was a big thing because chemical warfare was, the threat. Because Saddam was known to mustard gas and just kill everybody, his own people and with mustard gas. So we was always in chemical wear and always had to be weapons everywhere and vests and helmets all the time. So sometimes when I see these pictures of people that were in the desert and they're wearing the soft caps, you know what I mean? And the soft caps and the BDUs all nice and clean. I was like, I don't know where the hell where were they? Why wasn't I there?
In that resort.
Why wasn't I there? Because I didn't look like that. You'd get there and you'd come back from whatever you're doing, you get back into the tent and you'd wipe your face and just be oil because it'd just be raining oil. You couldn't see it As of course, if you got closer to the wells, you could start to see it. But there was oil everywhere because they set all the oil wells on fire. So just spewing oil. It was just raining oil all the time. Bro. So you'd smell like oil. You'd have oil every crevice. And there were no showers. I didn't have a shower. You have a bottle of water. Like this bottle of water right here. This is how you would bathe. You'd bathe.
Just go like that.
2 or 3. And the good thing, there was no lack of water, no lack of food. It would come from the U.S. government. So, and of course, the states would ship over a lot of water. So, but bathrooms, there were no bathrooms. You dig a hole.
So now,
dig a hole.
Now that you know the whole truth about that whole war, at first I'm pretty sure you felt like, man, I'm proud to serve. What about now? Like, was it? I mean, I'm pretty sure you are.
No, when I was there, I was not proud at all. Sitting in sand outside, you hear bombs, you would hear noise 24/7. There were just thunder 24/7. This was before the ground war. Mm-hmm. The ground war as a whole lasted only 3 days. That was the most fun part. It was the ground war. When those 3 days happened, when we rolled out, that was the most kick-ass part of Desert Storm. But during, of course, they would have the alarms go off, the gas. You'd have to dress up. You'd have to put your mask on, secure it, seal it, and sit there and wait. And people would panic. Other soldiers that were in my unit, they would panic. They would panic like, this is it. We're going to all die. And so there would be a lot of times when it would happen, and I would sit there in my cot in the tent. Because, we'd be tents or outside. I mean, I was there for a whole year, so it was changing. But they'd panic, and I just sit there and be like, you know what? If this is my time to go, I mean, fuck it. It's my time to go, man. It is what it is. It's just going to happen. Just take a deep breath. You got the mask, and I know, thankfully, nothing happened, but people would not last long out there. They would be shipped home. They would be shipped because they couldn't handle it. They would go crazy. We don't want them to go, not we, our captains or whatever, this guy's, he's carrying a loaded weapon with him. He can just kill everybody. So they were shipped out really quick when you were unstable. Yeah. So that was always something you had to be worried about. But it was just, I did not want to be there. It sucked. There's not going to say that it was glamorous at all. It sucked. It was hot in the daytime and freezing at night. Crazy how the desert works. You would think that the desert is just hot all the time.
So we're worse than Laredo, bro. That's what you're saying.
Well, it's cold at night. Like you had to get jackets cold, like coats cold at night. Because we would stand guard, and watch over a sea of nothing. You just watch, because you had to protect the unit. And it'd be freezing. Like, what the hell's going on, man? It was 110 4 hours ago, and now it's,
I'm trying to
in the 40s.
Build the story up like you saved like a whole little nation and pinche Rambo, all badass. And then you're just telling me that you're just an oil field worker.
I'm not gonna hear and boast myself.
You're wearing camo as an oil rig worker. That's really what it sounds like now.
Pretty much, yeah. And then you had to watch, you would go and walk through the desert. You had to listen for that. There was always a sense of you may die because you would have to listen for that click of the the bombs that were placed in the sand and and pretty much you're screwed. If you hear that click and everyone's around you heard it, everybody just like, bro, later. And they back off and you're sitting there like, okay, what are we going to do? You know what I mean? We're going to jump. Am I going to lose a leg or am I just going to lose everything? You always had to be conscious of where you're walking and who you're talking to because we had, to interview people that would come into the camp. What are you doing here? Why are you there? And they were like nomads. You would see just some random old guy walking with a bunch of sheep in the middle of the desert with nothing for miles. And they would get a little bit too close. But remember, we had to remember that they could be loaded with bombs and you go up and talk to them and they're like, surprise, and open up and just blow everybody to kingdom come. We had to be cautious of that. And they would be just like, we call them nomads. I'm not sure if that's the right term, but that's what we would call them. Like, what is this guy doing? Crazy. So wild camels and everywhere. Crazy, wild. They're not, camels you see now are all, not domesticated, but
they have an owner or something. Yeah.
Something. These are wild, crazy, just walking through the desert.
Interesting, bro.
Yeah, it was.
But then, okay, you're there, high intense, stress levels high, anxiety, I'm pretty sure. You're coming back, you're done. You come back and you're thinking, man, everybody's telling you thank you for your service.
Yes. Yeah,
it's
we
so
had a big
great.
parade and everything. There was like a parade. You know, my girlfriend at the time, which is my wife now, she
Okay.
was there. She was there to greet me when I got back. My dad was really pro-patriot. Like, he set up this whole thing. We had a big thing when I came back. On the 35, there was a bridge, welcome home, and it was pretty cool when I got back, because he was very proud. I think, honestly, my father was more proud of that I went to the military
Yeah.
than he was with any other of my accomplishments, really, because it's something that he couldn't do. You know what I mean? So fathers, I guess, like me, I could never do that. Like, my son, I did this, I became this or whatever, because I could never do it. You feel kind of proud for your kid, I didn't make the cut. Well, my son did. You know what I mean? So you're proud. Anyway, so that went down. So I got back.
So you come back and you're working with them, and it's not like my son, a veteran, working with me. It's like, no, that's not what happens.
No.
What happened, and it's like, oh, we're preparing you to take over the legacy of Cabello Recovery Services. It's like, no, peasant, go to work and start washing cars.
That's right. He
'cause
put me
that's
to
your job.
wash cars at that time, back in the early 90s. There was a place called the detention center. The detention center is where they used to, it was a detention center. I don't remember who the sheriff was at that time. It wasn't Sheriff Guer. There was another sheriff, and I don't remember. This was back in the early 90s. A detention center. So he put me, you know what, you're not going to, just because you're the owner's son, don't think that you're going to come and be the manager here. No, you're going to go wash cars. And he would send me to the detention center where we would sell, at that time, would sell auction. He would sell cars for the U.S. government. So me and 3 other guys, guys that you would pay minimum wage to, that didn't have much brains, and I'm one of them, to go in there and wash cars in the heat all day long. Because we had to prep 200 cars. You know what I mean? So I was doing that for a while. Doing it for a while. Yes, when I was a kid, yes, I would go with him on record calls, and he would show me how to hook up, but when I was an employee of the company, like straight up an employee, I started washing cars. And not many people know that. A lot of people think that, your dad gave you this, your dad, the reason why you're the way you are,
Junior,
and to have what you have
here.
because your dad, come bend, mijo, bend, mijo.
Yeah.
My fuck no, dude. My dad was not like that at all. He was like, this kid's not going to just ride on my tail. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's going to go and work.
But I think all of that starts building, and I mean, we all know it. It builds character. It's either good or bad, but it does build something. And you start doing this, and then you have a picture, bro, where it didn't happen that your dad gave it to you. We know that. But it kind of forced you to go into another branch still within the same sector. So your dad says it's yours, but you're like, no. And then you get fired by your dad, bro. Like,
yeah. Later on, after I got married and had children, and let me backtrack a little bit. Let me go back. So you're leading up to the brainstorming, what me and my pal did. But let me go back. So he had one account for Union National Bank. That bank has long been closed. In the early 90s, mid 90s, Union National Bank. And he would do 1 or 2 repos just to entertain the collectors, because he was very close with the bankers, because, his business, you needed to become with your loan officer, because that's how you would get stuff done back then.
Yeah.
A handshake and a phone call, you're either approved or you're not, because now, of course, you get a loan at the bank, forget about it. They want blood samples, and they want, your firstborn, and things like that to get a loan. Now, then, he would always tell me, you need to rub elbows with these guys. And I never really did that, but I forgot where I was going with that, man. You see, I've been hit on the head too many times. I forgot where I was going with that.
yeah, no, so we were talking about how you started.
Oh, yeah, then he goes, okay, so with the repos, right, he had one account. One account. So he goes, and he was always challenging me, and always trying to prove to the other employees, like, I'm going to get this kid. Because you got to remember, I was güero. You know what I mean? I was
Yeah.
güero, so I was still kind of like in Laredo. I was still a little bit the oddball because, you know, the gringo. I was the güero. They didn't understand that my father was Mexican as can be, but my mother was Anglo. So I was a güero. So he told me, here, they're going to eat this kid up. Here, son, go and try to repo this car. I said, what do you mean repo? What is that? I don't even know what repo means. What are you talking about? Well, they owe the bank X amount of dollars. They haven't paid, so they want their property back. So all you're going to do is you're going to go and you're going to hook it up.
That's him working back from the military.
Yeah.
So that this guy is going, doesn't understand what repo is. So then you go and do your thing.
Yeah.
And then?
He goes, they're you know, and I remember some of the employees, some of the girls that are still with me today that have been there for 45 years. They tell me that, yeah, your dad told us that this kid's not going to make it. Here we go, watch. So he sent me on this repo. They're going to eat him alive. But I just got in the military.
Yeah.
So I'm full of freaking balls and attitude. I'm going to bring it. I'll do it. If it's there, I'm going to bring it. And sure enough, hour passed and I would roll into the yard with him. He said, okay, let me give you another one. You know, because he wouldn't do it. That wasn't his thing. Yeah. Repos are not everybody's thing.
Yeah.
You know, they're not. You got to have a certain bit of nerve in you. You know, and I don't do it now. It's been 12 years, 15 years since I've been in a tow truck repoing cars. Well, now I have, you know, employees that do that. But, you know, they're going to eat him up. And sure enough, I brought the second one. He goes, okay, I may have something here. But back there was no money in it. You know, it just took nerve. And I would bring more and more, and then I started to like it, you know. Then I'm like, I want more. And he was like, well, do what you got to do. Start making some calls. I mean, I'm not going to help you because I don't like it. You know what I mean? It's too much of a liability. Too much of a liability. I don't want anything to do with it, you know.
And that's the part where I'm like, okay. And we've talked about this where I'm introvert. I don't want to be out there. I don't want to do all these things. So I was even surprised that you said yes to this, and I'm grateful for it. But as I'm going through your pictures, it's you and I guess who is it?
Paul Young. Paul Young III. He's my buddy to this day, and he was my buddy back then. That picture was taken in the mid-90s.
So this picture, bro, it looks like you guys are starting a tech company. It's Steve Jobs and Steve. What's his name? Where's that? The ones that started Apple.
Like Bill Gates.
Look at that tie, bro. I'm sorry, Paul.
That's Paul, man. Paul. That was Paul, and he dressed for success, Paul. And look at me. Look at me.
There's actually a picture that looks exactly the same, and this is why I'm saying it.
And you know what? If you see deep in that picture, there's a phone, I think, on the wall. I would sit there on the phone, and I would try to call, because there was no email back then. There was no... There you go. Look at that. You pull that up. That's how it all went down. And Paul would assist me. He'd be like, hey, call these people. And, you know, because he worked at the dealership, you know, with his father. So he was who the finance companies were, and he would give me some phone numbers. And I got to give gratitude to Paul because he gave me some phone numbers, and we were pals since high school, you know.
Thanks,
So
Paul.
he would give me phone numbers, and I would call anybody that I could. I would get transferred to, and I would sit there all day. If I wasn't doing a repo, I'd come back, and I'd just call and call. And sure enough, my tenacity of calling, it got me a little bit more accounts and a little bit more. It took a little while, you know, but that's how it all started, man. Me just on the phone, just being like a salesman, trying to sell myself to finance companies.
So, and that's the part where we talked about, we were saying that your dad, well, he fired you, right? Pretty much. It was an ultimatum.
Later on. That builds up to that later on.
And we get to that part now. And you're out. Like, hey, dude, go do your thing.
And the reason why he did that, it seems kind of crude. And, you know, I don't want to put a bad light on my father because he was really good. He was really good, but he was just hardcore with me, especially because he knew that I would have a lot of challenges coming up. So, so what happened was, like, later on, back in the, I would say, late 90s, maybe early 2000s, he had to pay me. I was doing so well picking up these cars. And I don't know what it was with my persona, you know, that made me successful in repossessing cars. And I guess it just had to be just the nerve. Because again, you don't have to be the most educated guy to repo a car. You have to be very skillful and very mindful, like streetwise, if you want to call it that, you know, you got to know how to talk, the different levels of talking to people. You get the rowdy ones and you get the nice, sweet ones, and you get the ones that say, over my ass, you're going to take this car.
Yeah.
And I'll fight you to the death if you think you're going to take it, you know. But that doesn't mean I sat there and go toe-to-toe with them. No, I wouldn't do that. You got to know when to back off and know when to attack. But so I was bringing in a lot of vehicles, so he had to pay me. And that's where the problem was. Like, what do you mean? This kid is making more than me right now. Screw that he had to pay. And of course, he had a lot of insurances and record payments and all property payments and taxes. So he didn't see the money coming in. He saw the money going out. And everybody sees that. No one sees kind of the money coming in, but they certainly pay attention to the money going out. So he's like, I'm not going to pay this kid. You know, he's my son and all, but I'm not going to pay this kid $1,200 a week. There's no freaking, I don't even make that. You know what I mean? I don't even, how am I going to do that? You're crazy. So he gave me an ultimatum. You know what? I don't want nothing to do with the repos. And this was later on. I had already, you got to remember, I had been doing, we'd go to the wrecks. I'd go with him and do all the rollovers and the heavy duties and things like that. This is another aspect of the towing part. I do all that with him. But when it came down to the repos, he's like, man, you know, I guess we had made a deal. I'm going to give you X amount of dollars per car you bring. And so it started to stack up. He's like, dude, I'm not going to pay this kid that. So he told me, hey, you have an option. You either stick with me and do wrecker service and become like behind me, or you do the repos. Here is the truck payment. Here's what I pay in insurance. And when I do this tossing motion, because that's how he would do it across his desk. He would throw stuff to me across, and I have to grab it. He'd throw stuff to me. He has an incredible wrist flick. With the phone, he can hang up on people. He was the pro at hanging up on people.
He was like power.
He knew how to slam the phone, and it would land right on the, you know, everybody uses cell phones now, but in office phones, he would be able to toss the phone and it would land right on the hook. You'd love that, or toss things to me. I used to be like, wow, how do you aim for that? I always tried. Sometimes I want to be my dad. I'd be on the phone trying to throw the phone right, and I couldn't do it. He was a pro at hanging up on people. He even asked him, what'd you say? And then
it was just like, you're done.
So like, I want to be like that guy right there. But anyway, so yeah, he said, like, I got either going to do this, and I was like, you know, the wrecker service, I mean, it wasn't interesting. Yes, I saw a lot of car wrecks and rollovers and fatalities. It was interesting, but I wanted to do the repos. And he goes, okay, do what you got to do. Then we're done. And he called one of the girls that makes the checks. Hey, ya no le vas a pagar. You're not going to pay him anymore. Yeah. He's like, he's going to do his thing. He charged me rent to work in his office. So I had my office within his office, and I would pay him rent to work out of there. You know, and then again, back on the phone, getting more and getting more. Now I was my own brand then. That's when Cabello Recovery happened. Because remember, this was Cabello Recovery Service. Yeah. So that's when Cabello Recovery was starting, and I was trying to develop my brand.
And that's the part where it's not the normal way of doing things. Like the legacy, like, hey, take over the business. And when I've asked you this, you're like, no, not really, dude. Like, I started this on my own. And you did. You started the repo side of things, and then the towing started falling into place, and then the auctioneers, the auction stuff falls into place. But when you're doing that switch, I'm pretty sure there was some. Were you scared or stuff like? And you said like, no, I'm not. I'm not scared. But
I was kind of concerned, but I knew that there was money in it. Yeah. So I remember going home and telling my wife, "Hey, my dad." I don't know he was in a mood, and he's like, you got two choices right now, make them. You've got 2 minutes to tell me. And I decided to go with the repo. So I went home, and we're on our own. And my wife was concerned, and, you know, and she was concerned, how are we going to do it?
So I did ask Mithy about that. I was like, were you worried, concerned, and like something had to happen? I mean, I know majority of it's women tend to be more concerned or worry about what's going to come and what's going to happen. So when I asked her, she's like, no, I'm not. I'm like, why? She's like, well, because I know Chris has taken care of. Like, he always has. Like, he'll take care of us. And you just had the mortgage. You just had your third kid. I just bought a house like 6 months prior to that, maybe. I just bought a house, and we just had our last. He's 23 now. So the wise decision to make.
He's not 23, he's 24 or something. But, but he was a little baby. Like, what
Well,
do we
that's
do?
what
We
I'm
just got to
saying,
pay the
like-
mortgage. I got a baby, so I sold one of my motorcycles.
The smart decision at that point, I would tell you, is stay working with your dad. Fall in line, told her.
Safe, fall in the net. Like,
Yeah,
stay there, and he'll
stay
take care
there.
of you. But I didn't
But
want
you-
that in my. I didn't want that stigma. Oh yeah, you rode your dad's coattails all the way to the
Yeah.
end. You know, screw that, man. I wanted to be my own, and start my own towing company and not name it Cabellos. You know what I mean? And not name it that. That was my intent to do it. But
You name it Cabello.
you know, I then, you know, that's why I named it Cabello Recovery, but I still use Cabello. I guess,
Yeah.
you know, because I did. Hey, if you got the last name, it might give
Yeah.
you some pull. It might.
It
But you
does.
got to remember,
It
these
does.
finance companies were not. Yes, they had their local banks, and I got those right off the bat. The local banks, Laredo National Bank, that doesn't even exist anymore. I
Right.
don't think. Laredo National Bank and Union National Bank were my main locals. I didn't like to do car lots
Yeah.
because car lots was a whole different thing. But
So when I asked Mippy about it, I was like, why were you betting on him that he was gonna deliver? He's like, well, give me an example. And so like, you know what he did? He sold his motorcycle. You sold the motorcycle to grab that money and get yourself a
$6,000 I had. That's what I started with capital. And of course, my father, he was paying for that record that he said was, here's the record payment.
Yeah.
Like, I'm done paying it. And he was relieved. That's a one payment, and here's the insurance. I don't have to pay for it. That's your deal now. You know what I mean? So I didn't have to go buy my first record, but I had to take over the payments on it. You know what I mean? And I was subjected to repos too. Like, they could repo my shit as well, as long as they, you know, just like I do. Bank can come take the record and all kinds of stuff as well. So those are concerning.
You sell it, you have capital now. And I asked her,
I have capital. Your capital is up in the millions. I had $6 grand, and I
six-
thought I was
six whopping
floating.
grand.
Yeah.
All right, dude, you had cash on hand. All right, that's what matters. And then Mippy's like, "How do you know he was going to be able to do it?" It's like, dude, he's purchased three motorcycles after that. I don't know how he did it, but he figured it out. Like, after we told him not to do it, he still did it. So he'll always find a
my
way.
wife told me not to do it because she knew the dangers in riding a motorcycle, and it wasn't your Harley Davidson kind. It was a sport bike. Yeah, she knew the dangers, and she knew my attitude and the way I was. I'm not just like your normal guy, man. I had to take things to the extreme no matter what. I wanted to be number one in anything that I did. In the repos, I want to be number one. In auctioneering, I want to be number one. In motorcycle riding, I want to be number one. I want people to remember my name.
That you did.
Who
first.
that guy was. Why is that dude is a psycho. Who is that guy? That's Chris Cabello. Okay. You know what I mean? And it's stuck. I see people at the gym that are in the motorcycle club like, dude, I'll never forget you. You know, that's how people remember your name, when you're just good at something and you just do things like balls out, full throttle all the time. That was me. And of course, that led to my health issues later on, but full throttle was the name of my game back then. Full throttle. I just wanted to get things done.
Which is cool, and I get that part. You did all that. But what's amazing, man, and what I think it's pretty nice is that Mippy would still take you to the bank because she knew you would deliver.
Yeah.
That's
She,
so you
know, let me
never
tell
you never fell off
the
from
success that I have. There is no doubt. If I can give an advice to any young person, find yourself a good woman and treat her right. She will treat you right. You will not get through life thinking that you want to be single and have wives here and there and girlfriends here and there. It doesn't work. Sorry. It doesn't work. You have a good woman that supports you, and I give thanks to my wife and all my kids, because without them, I would be just another jackass in the street. Nobody, you know? I
mean, because you're talking about saying, I want to be the number one. I want to be number one. And you start doing that, and it starts messing with the ego, the pride. Like, I did this. And it happens. We've seen it plenty of cases. But you were chill, but you still respected your wife. And you didn't let the whole thing start bottling and like, oh, look at me. I can do these. I can escape the Laredo PD and not get caught by popping willies all over Del Mar.
Yeah, I just want to apologize to the Laredo Police Department back in
Shout out for the Laredo Police
back in
Department.
2000, 20 years ago. All the ones from Traffic Department, one or two are still there. Yeah, but we were a
Wesley.
menace. Yeah, we were a little menacing, and I want to just take that time to little plug in to apologize. I swear.
Watch them come back with all the citations that we had. Mr. Cabello, we still have them here.
And it was crazy because I was older then. In the motorcycle days, I was a little bit older than, I wasn't 20 years old. I was already 31, 32. So it's like, dude, you're a senor already at 32.
Yeah,
is
bro,
old
you're a
to that.
chavarruco.
Dude, I was like, what are you, like, and people would like, law enforcement, they would, what are you doing? Like, seriously? You haven't grown out? You haven't grown up yet? And it wasn't a part of being immature. Well, yes, because the stuff I would do on the motorcycle was immature.
Yeah.
But it was just, I was after that,
And there is
the
a video
adrenaline.
of you doing this type of stuff on YouTube. What's it called?
Well, I was in a group called RPM
Okay.
Racing Motorcycles, and there would be like me and by 4 other guys that would just like to stunt them and riding wheelies and the stoppies and there's a lot of lingo that you don't know who they are, but what they are, but we'd do tricks on them. We would try to do tricks, and I had broken my collarbones on 2 different occasions. It just comes with it. You wreck. It comes with it.
So you're an adrenaline junkie
I was.
since the very beginning, dude. And I think that's, taking the risk on doing this side of the business of the repo and making the decision. I'm gonna take this route. But it all starts from the childhood. Like, I guess your dad was really preparing you. Like, dude, this is gonna be tough. It's not gonna be easy. And it is true. But now you're telling me that you were hanging out with like 20-year-olds.
Yeah, because you know why? Because I didn't
30-something-year-old.
do that. You know why? And I think about it because when I was young, I didn't do that because I was always working. With my father, I was working, doing something. I never had time to go and play until I had my own business, bring in my own money, and then I could play.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought was playing because I didn't have time to do any of that stuff before because I was either you're working or you're asleep because you've been working, period. There was no in between with my father. There was no in between. He couldn't come home from work and see you laying on the couch watching TV. You're like, you have nothing better to do? I'll find something. Go take the trash out. Go wash my car. Something. You had to do something. So the father would come home when we're young, and we're going back. When he come home, we'd scatter. The kids would be like, Dad's home. If we weren't doing nothing.
Like
you know what I mean?
cockroaches when you turn on the light, everything just scatter.
Scatter.
Like
Or you pretended that you were cleaning something, you know what I mean? And he still would ride you on that. You would pretend something.
You're like,
you were
I
doing
know what's
something.
happening. Dude, that is so. I was at an event, dude, and I'm talking to this gentleman, and his name is Jerry Maldonado, and he's part of the LMCA. He's a board of the LMCA.
Cool dude. I like him.
And we were sitting, and I told him, like, hey, I'm gonna meet with Chris. We're gonna do this, and he's like, dude, I remember him. I was like, dude, I used to be in motorcycles also. Like that guy would go crazy. Like, he would do crazy stuff. I wouldn't do. I just like driving. Like, my bikes were longer. I like going fast. That was like, it doesn't make it any better, but his role was kind of crazy also.
Yeah.
So he's like, say hi. He told me to tell you hi.
Cool.
But one of the things that he was saying, like, dude, I remember one time we're on Del Mar. We're driving down, and I see him. He's right next to me because there's some sort of like a rule when, like, hey, we take care of each other when you're riding, and so he turns and you're right next to him, and all you do, you just sign. You give him a sign like, hey, I'm out.
Yeah, the cut sign.
And
I'm
then
I'm done.
You're done
later. Yeah.
And then you just turn left or you turn. And his thing is like, and they start asking.
Away from the pack. Yeah.
Yeah, and they started asking, hey, where's Chris? Where's Chris? I'm like, oh, he said he was done. I was like, oh, okay. And then he's like, dude, and then later on I find out that he had a heart attack. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, the adrenaline plays a role with your heart. And, of course, bad diet definitely plays a role with your heart. But in the military, I was left the war and all the stuff we were doing, all adrenaline. Then I got out. Repossessing cars, another adrenaline spike. That riding motorcycles and doing stupid things on a motorcycle, another adrenaline.
And starting the
heart
business,
takes
the
a toll.
stress.
The stress of the business, of course, all that, trying to build it and trying to have fun at the same time. You know what I mean? I'm trying to have it at the same time. I wasn't just focused in on work. Yes, of course, but in my time I was.
Yeah.
That there was a time to play and there was a time to work. But the adrenaline took a toll on my heart. Every time you do a repossession, man, back then when I did them, your heart starts to beat a little bit quicker. You start to get a little bit nervous, because you do not know what's going to come out of the house. I have been cussed at. I've gotten hot oil thrown on me from a lady who said, take this, but you could take this too, and throw bacon cooking. I interrupted her making breakfast, I guess, and she threw oil at me, and I was like, whoa, of course, my cat-like reflexes, I backed out of that. But anyway, I've had guns pointed at me. I've had people take shots, and I've never gotten hit. You know, I've had all of that happen to me in all my years of doing that. So the adrenaline, man, the adrenaline of always your heart just going and going and going. It took a toll.
Your body just says, bro, you're done.
Your body's just,
chill.
especially if you're not watching your diet. And back then, I would have a pack of ding dongs and milk before I went to bed. You know, I didn't drink, but I would have just junk food and Red Bull. Well, I had Red Bull was my friend.
Riding the bikes, drinking Red Bull, smoking
We would
cigs.
stop at smoking cigarettes. We would stop at the gas station. I'd down 3 or 4 Red Bulls and let's go, let's ride. We're wasting time. Let's go. And boom, boom, we'd all take off and it'd be fun. And the heart would just keep going and going.
So then that's where we're going into the part where you start making a change in your health. And you stick to it now.
Well,
but it doesn't stop there, bro, because there's still more heart attacks. And I'm gonna say it jokingly, dude, because I know it happened while you were working out. Because you used to be a chubby guy, dude. You were a big guy.
I was. I was pushing 300 pounds.
Dang.
Of 300 pounds, and not 300 pounds of muscle.
Yeah, and so we have the picture where you're like trying to do some shows there.
Yeah.
And what's crazy, dude, is that you're doing that, you stop, you change your lifestyle, you have a heart attack, you join the gym, you join with Gabby Cadena at GC Fitness.
GC Fitness, yep.
We say it jokingly. I say it
my
jokingly.
My wife, let me, there's a story behind the whole fitness part. Yes.
Okay.
I knew I needed a change. I was well overweight. But my wife wanted to renew our vows because when we first got married, we didn't have a wedding. We didn't have enough money.
Yeah.
And her parents didn't have money either. We didn't have a huge wedding, So we just got married through the judge and that. So she said, wants to renew. Now that this is fast forwarding, I was already making money. We were okay. And she goes, I want to fit into my wedding dress that I wore when we got married 25 years ago. Because I've been married 33 years already. We've known her forever, 35, 36 years. So she goes, I'm going to fit into my dress. And we were both overweight. I'm not going to lie that she was the way she looks now. She was overweight, and I was worse.
I never
was
knew
two
that.
of her. You know what I mean? But still, we were both overweight. She goes, I'm going to fit in the dress. And I'm thinking, there's no way this chick's going to fit in the dress. I'm sorry. There's no way. That was 20-something years ago. So she joined GC.
Bro.
She joined GC. And when she did that, I started to see change. I'm like, holy shit, look at that. Nice.
Look at that.
There
what's
we
going
go.
on?
Okay, what's going on with this? What's going on with this lady? What's up with this chick? I gotta go check her class out, And I joined.
And then she tried to kill you.
Well,
jokingly.
She did,
No, she didn't.
No. But she'll break you. You know what I mean? She'll make you, dude. Let me tell you, if you've never done a HIIT class and you think you're the shit, join a HIIT class. You will be humbled within 2 minutes of that.
Yeah, dude, because I've seen her videos and she's hardcore.
It's hardcore.
And
no doubt about it.
And I say it
She's
jokingly, dude.
She's the best.
And Gab, we're not saying that you did. We're just joking. But here's the thing, man, because that's happening and you're still going till this day. Like where a lot of individuals right now will say, well, I can't go because
my heart. My doctor said I have to limit my heart.
Or my knee, bro.
Let me tell you.
Yeah, bro, me duele, and it's the age.
My back, yeah.
I'm already 50 plus. I can't go this hard, bro. And then I look at you and you're like, dude, you've had 5 heart attacks. You've had open heart surgery. You joined this HIIT class where, jokingly, I say it.
Because during one of her classes, literally when I got home, took about 10 minutes where I told my wife, I don't feel good. No. Yeah, I don't feel good. There's sometimes when I tell my wife I feel like shit, and she's like, well, take an aspirin. But when I say I don't feel good, that's like alert. Sirens go off in her head like, whoa, what do you mean? And sure enough, but it was just me being out of shape and me trying to push myself during the class to you know what I mean, to really, to do it. And yeah, to this day, I'm still in the class.
Yeah, dude.
It's
So
been years. I took a little break for a little bit, but then I just rejoined again.
Yeah.
For the last year, I'm back.
Dude, that's
And I think it's fun now. I think it's fun.
well, I mean, depends who you ask or who you tell, bro.
It's not for everybody.
No,
it's
dude,
not for the weak-minded. I'll tell you right now. It will break you. It will break you. You think you're a badass bodybuilder, whatever? Join a HIIT class.
You'll feel
You will feel it within seconds. Like, holy cow! Dude, when the first day I went, I was like, I'm thinking of a million excuses how I'm not going to come back tomorrow. I hurt my leg, I hurt my ankle, and I don't know what. I'm thinking a million excuses why I'm not coming back. And I didn't, thank God.
Because I've seen the videos, and we were talking about this the other day, and she's like, Coach, no bajé de peso. Dijo, no bajaste de peso porque te comiste la galleta. And she's calling you out, and I'm like, dude, but it's a very unique thing.
Yeah, it's very unique. I mean, she is a very unique individual. I don't want to get too much into her, but she is definitely a very unique individual. She definitely does care about her challengers, and she will push you or break you, one or the other, but for the good. You know what I mean?
Right. But you still need to have that will and that discipline. And that's one thing, Chris, that when I talk to you and when I stop by your office, you have that. You have the discipline to do these hard things. When things get tough, you continue pushing forward.
Yeah. Discipline is always with you. Motivation goes. Motivation starts, like I said, you're motivated to go to the class.
Yeah.
Then the motivation within the first 5 minutes gets thrown out the window.
Because you can start, and I'm pretty sure you started just because you guys were gonna renew your vows.
Yeah, I wanted to catch up to her because she was showing big time results, and I was like, "Holy cow, man!" And she was very dedicated. Her diet on point, not one little M&M. I remember when she was like, "What's gonna happen? Just eat that. It's not gonna be a big deal." But it is. Yeah. It is a big deal. You gotta have the diet. You can exercise all you want. If your diet is for shit, your body will be the same. It's that simple. You got to have the diet. The diet is most important. What goes into your body.
And you have to practice that you do, because it's the brain. You have to practice discipline. And that is one of the, we work out, you work out, we're always doing the workouts, but when do you start working the brain? Because the brain is a muscle, and it's the most important muscle.
Yep.
And in your case, it's more of like, it's the life experiences, the people pushing you, it's, you know what you need to do to get where you need to get. And that is the part where I'll say, like, I've read plenty of books. I'm like, yeah, I heard it here. I heard Atomic Habits, and yeah, it's all there. But in your case, you're like, dude, I've never read Atomic Habits. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you just get your shit done. Just get it done.
Just do it.
And
don't think about it. Do it. I don't want to hear that you're gonna do it. I don't want to hear that you're thinking about it.
let me give you a
Just
very
freaking do it, man.
intense.
And if you don't, and then a month later you tell me, "Oh, I haven't started yet." Okay, that's where you lose me.
Yeah,
that's where you lose me. Like right there. Like, what do you mean? For the minute you think of it, stop. Oh, I'll start on Monday. It's Wednesday. Oh, I'm gonna start my diet Monday. Why Monday? You just thought of it. Start it right this second. Right this minute. If you're serious. Like tonight, don't eat that triple meat with all the French fries. Get yourself some chicken and whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever. Like this minute. No, I'm going to wait till Monday. That tells me, remember, this is just my opinion. That tells me that you're really not into it when it comes to fitness.
But I think you have to treat it also in business. It's
Yeah,
the same
for
thing,
sure.
Because, you started the business. You're not the towing, but the
repossessions.
The repossession.
Yeah.
And I know there was a part of there that you did struggle.
I sure did.
You weren't like from one day to another, bam, we're killing it.
No.
You struggled, but you continue, and there was the persistency of like, hey, let's keep pushing, and then Mippy there telling you like, dude, it's good, like keep believing in you, and I don't know, did you ever cross any doubts like, dude, what if I do fail at this?
Oh yeah, that's just normal human being. Yeah, what if I do fail? What am I going to do? What do I do? I don't know how to do anything else.
How do you shut off that part of it?
It always stays with you. It stays with me to this day. Yeah. And I have a very successful business right now, and it still stays with me. What about tomorrow? What about next month? Am I going to be in the same situation? That never goes away. It never. You just have to be strong-minded and say it's going to succeed. It's going to succeed. And it also helps too that you have good people working for you. Good people working for you. That's a big problem. Because a lot of the kids now, they don't have that same mentality as the Gen Xers do. They don't. So, but it took me a while to build the employees structure that I have right now.
Yeah.
Getting rid of the people that are there to take advantage of you. You got to read them. And I eliminate them very quickly. And I have a God squad right now. There's no doubt in my mind that without them, I wouldn't be either. Without them or my family,
right,
I would not be where I'm at right now. I depend on them a lot, and I'm grateful. And I try to show them gratitude as well.
And I have seen that, dude. I have seen your employees, and it's nice to walk into your office, man, and they're like, "Hey, what's up, Jose Luis? What's going on?" And
everybody's in a good mood, man.
I know, and that's the part of it. Like, dude, you're getting people that are pissed off because you took their car, and we'll talk about that right now in a bit. But what I do see in your office is that you do have a great team, and it's great. There's a team environment where they're there to help each other out, and they've bought into what you're doing in this company, and they'll protect you. And I've seen that. They're like, no, like, you're not doing that, or, sir, somebody's here and they're saying this, and this, and it's like,
yeah, they'll come, and especially if they know, because as you get older, my patience is not like it should be. I'm a little bit, so they'll protect me. Like, they'll say, don't come out of your office, sir, and they'll close my door. Don't come out. We've got this. Don't worry, because the people come. We just picked up their car because they were picked up by DWI. They were arrested for assault. They were parked in some illegal place they should not have been parking, and it's our fault. So they come to the office, or they come to the yard, and they start to be the bully. You know what I mean? And that does not ride well with me at all. And that's where my patience really runs thin. And I don't understand that, how you have to remember that the tower or the wrecker service, it's not their fault that you parked in a no parking zone or you parked in a handicap. It's not the wrecker driver or the wrecker company's fault that you did that.
Dude,
don't take it out on us, or try not to. I get you're frustrated, but
I've told you.
Talk to God about it. Don't talk to us about it.
I have told you this, dude, and there was a time when I lived in San Antonio, and I was being dumb. I parked in the handicap spot. And
with no handicap tag or nothing, no sticker, placard, nothing.
I was young and dumb. So,
well, let me tell you, my kids, all three of them live in San Antonio and Austin. All of them have been towed. All of them.
All of them.
And I've got to produce all the paperwork that's needed to get the car out and pay the fee. There was no, I have a towing company in Laredo, by the way. I need a break. My ass. I paid everything. You know what I mean? Yes. And I never did that because I don't really like to do that.
And when you were telling me the other day about these stories, I'm like, dude, I was that guy. Like, I remember I come out of the apartment and I'm looking for my truck. I'm like, dude, what happened to my truck? Like, they stole it.
It's got to be a horrible feeling, I'm sure. When you park there and now your car's gone.
It's gone. And I'm like, where is it? Like, oh, shoot, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Who took my truck? Nobody's here, whatever. Anyways, call PD. Like, did you call where'd you park? But I didn't want to tell them the truth. Like, dude, I parked in the handicap because then I'm scared that I'm going to get a ticket, dude.
Wait right there. We're on our way to issue a citation. Then you can go to the towing company.
So it's like, have you tried calling the repo? The number there? I was like, oh, shoot. Like, no, but okay, let me try.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah. And I called and they had my truck, but it was like $200-300.
Yeah.
I was pissed off, but I was mad at them because it sucks to be mad at yourself, man. And I just got pissed off at the towing company. I was like, oh, why do they have to be so far? I'm like, well, why do you have to park in the wrong place, bro? Like, it's your fault. Like,
we don't just pick a name out of a hat and say, okay, we're going to pick on this person today or tow his car or her car, whatever. We don't do that. I mean, it's usually 100% your fault that we have your car.
And it was my fault. So I was like, all right, it's something that I have to do. But you said something right now that all your kids have gotten their cars repo.
No, not repo, towed.
Towed, sorry. But you don't flex that, hey, you know what? I have a
towing company here in Laredo. I've been doing this way longer than you have.
Over 40 years.
And, I have people call our office and flex like that. Yeah. That doesn't go over well. But, I mean, it doesn't work out for them. But,
charge them an extra fee.
You're right. I don't do that. And it's not, A business owner doesn't want to hear that, man. I don't want to hear that. Maybe others, but I don't want to hear that you did that. So what?
Yeah.
So what? I don't care. I don't care. You know what I mean?
So we've done some stuff where I'm helping you with different things, and they're charging us, and you're like, just pay it. I'm like, well, let's see if we can get a discount. I was like, no, dude, just pay it. And in your head, you're always like, dude, that's a business. Like, help them.
That's
I'm gonna
right.
pay.
If you're locally,
I'm gonna pay the
pay it.
price, the fair price of what it is. Just because they're my friend, it doesn't mean I'm gonna ask them for a discount. Now, if they want to give one, okay, I get it. That's nice. Thank you. But I'm gonna pay. If it's $1,000, it's $1,000. Now you're gonna expect good quality service, just like any other client.
Of course.
But you're always willing to support
I am.
local
And then-
businesses.
Yeah, and even people too. You know, because some, there's, some dumbasses that get arrested for DWI or assault because they got in a fight at a bar, and their mother comes to get their car out. And you could tell, I can read a person. I know, I can read a person.
Yeah.
I could tell that this elderly person has just had a hard life, man. And she's struggling to find the money in her purse. Or, ma'am, put that all away. And I release the car. I'm not a completely cold individual.
Yeah.
Now, if you come to my office or you come to my yard or any tower, and I recommend this for any towing company that's out there, you get a guy that comes in and starts to be a bully.
Yeah.
You're not getting a break, man. It's going to be a little bit harder for you. You know what I mean? Don't do that. It's not our fault. We have your car.
Yeah.
It's not. You did something stupid. That's why we have it. We did something stupid. And sometimes, in my whole 40 years that I've been doing this, I've had to remind people, it's your dumbass that parked there or got arrested because you decided to slap someone around, and now it's our fault. It's not going to fly here, man. It's just not. It's not.
And and I have seen that, dude. And that's one cool thing that you do. You always help and support, and I know that because you're also like you've let us use the trailer that we have at the church, and we use it for the men's group. We use it for the younger adults, and it's there.
I built that for you guys.
And it's grateful, man, because it's nice. It's nice that it's just parked there and we can use it whenever we want. I've seen that. I've seen how you support other local businesses.
A lot of
your
charities I give to.
Local boxers.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see that, man, that you're willing to help and you're always out there, whatever it is. Now, Cabello Recovery has 3 different departments. The first one is, we haven't even talked about the auctions because you guys were displayed on a video that was created several years ago, Going, Gone, the story of the Texas auctioneer. And there's a video of you guys online, and that's you with your dad doing all the auction stuff happening.
Yeah, back in the early 90s, my dad says, you know what? Why don't you go to auction school? And I was like, okay, sure, I'll try it. And I went to the auction school. And then I came back to take the state test. And at the auction school, they teach you about marketing, about bankruptcy, what you can sell and what you can't, stuff like that with the auctioneer. And I went to take the test in Austin, and I failed. I failed the test. My dad was like, you idiot. You idiot. You failed. Like, really? He passed his. That was very confusing to me. At the time, I was very confused. But you know what? It was all right. I retook it, aced it, and I became an auctioneer. And that was in the early 90s. I've been an auctioneer for over 35 years. I've held thousands of auctions. Car auctions, LISD, UISD, City of Laredo, of auction service and auction.
So how do you prepare? How do you practice to speak when you're in the auction? Because I've seen you, and you're like, blah, 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 blah,
well, they got to
blah,
go
blah,
25 now, 30. You better get to 35 now, 40, but 400, now 400, now 50, now 450, now 5. You just have to have that. You just have to practice, man. You have to practice, have to roll off the tongue. See, my father was auctioneer too, but he never had the skill to roll the numbers in English and Spanish like I do. You know what I mean? 100, 120, 125, 130, 140. I'd go on and on, then flip it back to English and Spanish. I had that skill back then. Of course, we used to do them every single month. And, since he's passed, I don't have them every month. I have them every 6 months.
Yeah.
Now everything's going online now. So it's a little bit different. But auctioneering is one of the oldest profession. Next to one other profession, and I don't want to mention here, but it's one of the oldest profession is auctioneering. So yeah, it's just practicing the chant and just being a people person, man, and getting these cars and selling them.
So you have that, you have the auctions, and I think I wanted to. And one of the things that I also, this is me, this is what I wanted to do in this podcast, is I want to let people know that you do have these type of things, and if somebody's looking for a vehicle, and it's not now, they're as is, they're not like, you're not gonna get a Bentley, you're not gonna get a Lambo.
Yeah. There's not gonna be a Lamborghini or Ferrari or a like a super badass Mercedes.
Yeah, no, you're not.
Year.
But it's a good starting car
yeah.
for somebody that's looking at, hey, my son's going to college, he needs something, we have a little cash. And that's where you start teaching your kids how to be responsible and take care of it and do the things. But you have a lot of vehicles like that. And I've seen some good,
some good vehicles have come out.
Some really good vehicles, man.
There's vehicles for everybody. We got junked, wrecked ones. There's people, clients for that. Then you have the other vehicles that can be put into your son or daughter that are reliable. Like your Ford Taurus or your Chevy Malibu. Even your pickups. Yeah, I mean, we have vehicles that sell for $50. We have vehicles that sell all the way to $30,000. It just depends. Tractors, trailers. Yeah. I'll sell anything.
But that's the cool thing about the auction, man. So if you don't know about this, go check them out. Go follow them on their Facebook page.
Facebook page, Cabello Recovery.
They have some good quality cars. They have some horrible cars also. Yeah. All right, we're keeping it real. But what I'm trying to tell you is that it's going to teach the kid how to be responsible and take care of it. Because trust me, I know when my dad bought us a truck and it was all decked out, and what was I doing? Doing dumb things. Trying to burn tire or crashing it, and they're like, "Oh, they crashed me," or getting towed, and I was like, "I don't know why, but yeah, I know why." So those are lessons, man, and I want to make sure that I'll always cheer for Cabello Barrel. Like, that's one thing I'm always very proud of. It's your business, it's your stuff, and it's not that you need my help, because you don't. We've talked about this. But it's nice to see the name out there, and then it's like, hey, that's my friend. That's my brother. That's his business, and I'm proud of that. So that's why I decided to wear your shirt for today.
There you go.
Because I'm proud of it.
Nice.
And you have some good stuff that you can give back to the community. So that's one. The second thing is it's the towing. You tow from little cars. You've also towed like the big 18-wheelers.
The heavy duties, yeah. Well, bigger, like my logo slogan is big or small. We can tow it all.
Yeah.
Backhoes, whatever you got, we'll have the equipment to relocate it or remove it from where it's at.
And there's one thing that I always want to tell people, like, if you're in an accident, something happens, you need a truck, you need somebody to tow you from wherever you're at, it's, hey.
You can call Cabello Recovery, and the police is there. If you're involved in an accident, especially, the police are going to call whoever's on rotation. Yeah. But you have the right to say, I've got my own tow truck coming.
Yeah.
And we'll probably give you a better rate than they would
anywhere
being
else
on police rotation, because there they charge you what the state allows you to charge.
Right.
And that's all, for those that want to know, if you're curious about, am I being screwed over by this towing company with their charges? This TDLR, Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation, they have all on their website what a towing company can charge.
Right.
So if you're ever in doubt about what another towing company charged you, go to the TDLR website. It tells you right there. So you think you're being screwed, look it up first.
Right.
Before you start throwing fingers, pointing fingers actually.
And that's one thing I did want to mention, that when somebody does have an accident, bro, like, you have the right to pick your towing, whoever you want.
Now, the police department's not going to wait for you. If there's an accident, they got to clear the road. They're not going to wait an hour and a half for your tow truck to get here. So your tow truck has to be quick and get there like in a timely fashion. Yes, they'll wait for you, but you do have the right to say, no, I want Cabello Recovery to come. Now, remember, there's Cabello Recovery. There's two Cabellos. Don't get them confused.
Right.
Now, this is not really a problem, but it's been a question. Like, are you really? There's another company called Roger Cabello. Great company. Great. No issues with them. Yeah. But we are not the same.
Yeah.
This is Cabello Recovery, the original Cabello Recovery Service, Inc., not Roger Cabello Towing and things like that. There's a difference.
Right.
So I just want to clear that up, that there is two different. So just remember, Cabello Recovery, is who you want to go to. Because we have all the state-of-the-art equipment.
Yeah, man. You have
New
some-
flatbeds, new air-conditioned truck, like top of the line. I make sure in my business to have all nice. I want you to feel comfortable. If you're disabled on the highway, you get in the cab. You're not with a dirty driver that smells like he hasn't taken a shower in forever or full of grease on him, just nasty. He's wearing a uniform. He's looking nice. The air conditioned. You're comfortable. He's going to give you some water while we bring you in if you're on the highway or wherever. But yeah, the police department, going back, you have the right to call and just we'll get to you. We'll get to you with the right equipment, and we'll clean up the mess that your car left behind during an accident. Cool. That's part of our job.
So, something happens.
Give me a call.
Call my boy
Give us
Chris.
a call, actually. You probably won't get to me exactly, but you'll get to my company. And we'll definitely, and I have told, I have trained them to respond quick, good customer service. I really rely on that.
The third one is the one that, how can I say it, bro? You're still doing repos.
Yeah. Somebody's going to do it. If I don't do it, someone else will.
Like if you don't pay it, they're going to come and get it.
That's right.
And
usually it takes about 90 days for you to be delinquent before they come and recover your vehicle.
Yeah. So you're like, who was I thinking last time, dude? You remember that scene from Scarface when he's in the restaurant? It's Tony Montana. It's like, you need people like me.
The banks need, the finance company need people like me.
Well, they hate, we hate, let's say I'm the one getting repo. Look at you coming. I'm going to hate you because you're taking my car.
Yeah.
But then you're going to tell me that you need people like me so you can point the finger and say that I'm the bad guy. But
unfortunately, it does come with the territory.
It does, dude.
But that's how I feed my employees. That's how they get a paycheck. If I don't do it, guaranteed, just because I don't do it, doesn't think that you're never going to get recovered, because there's always a guy down the block that will go and take your vehicle.
So what advice would you tell somebody if they're watching this whole video, bro, I'm going to say, well, you need to get to work. But let's say that they are and they're struggling.
Everybody comes in bad luck every once in a while.
Right.
Some things,
100%.
unfortunate events happen in people's lives. It happens to the richest. It happens to the poorest. I've seen people that are very wealthy and we'll still go pick up their cars because they forgot or something didn't happen. Right. Anyway, but the best advice I can give if you're in that situation is just having open communications with your finance company. Let them know your situation. Right. Let them know if you can get an extension. Ask them, can I get an extension where they just charge you the interest and not really anything on the principal? They will work with you. If a collector calls on your phone and you decide, you know what, and hang up on them, that's not good. Right. Because then the repo man's coming, and the recovery agent, wherever you want to put it, whatever. Yeah. He's coming. He's coming. There's no doubt about he's coming.
Okay, but now some single ladies might say, is there somebody like Chris coming? So someone's Jack and Juicy coming and get my car? Because I will stop paying my payments, bro. I'm calling it how it is. So
I don't know, man. What do you mean? Wait, repeat that question, bro. You threw me off with that.
Dude, you're like 50. You're 50 plus years.
55, actually.
55,
or am I 56?
bro.
55, 56.
You got some big ass biceps working there, bro. Come on. Your traditional basic towing, your repo dude, it's going to be, you said it, some big fat, whatever, I'm calling for your car. But if a lady's there and you're single, or let's say they look like you, dude, I'm going to stop making my payments. I'm like, dude, come pick up my car all the time. All the time. I
don't know. I can't speak on that side, man. I can't speak on that side. The good thing I haven't personally repossessed a car.
I'm pretty sure if I ask Mippy, she'll say 100%. I will stop paying my car to have that cutie come over here.
To have him come in and pick up my car.
Chris, I forgot to pay my car.
No, that never happens to me, man. At that
time, dude, during those times, you're not even thinking about that. But yeah, man, I think it's something good that we have to tell the people that, hey, if you are in that situation, talk to them.
That's all you have to do. And you'll be surprised that the finance companies, they don't want your car. If they pick up your car, they're going to take a loss. Yeah. They don't want your car. They want you to pay.
Yeah.
That's all they want. They want you to pay. So just open Communication. Don't shut them down.
And
Once
dude,
you shut them
have
down,
you
it's
like
over.
gone back to like not picking up a car, like, or you're already hooking it up and you're
Yes,
just
yes. I feel bad for them usually during when I used to
yeah,
do this during Christmas time. Now there's a lot of rules that in these days that
right,
they'll send, the finance companies will send letters, emails. Do not pick up on this day to this date because of Christmas, New Year's. But back then it was
game on, the Wild
open
West.
big time. And I'll drop a lot. I've dropped a few cars, especially during Christmas time. The father would come out and say, "Listen, I got Christmas gifts in the back. Can you just do me this favor? I'll take it to you on this day or whatever." And I've dropped a lot of cars in that situation. I'm not during Christmas, but in a lot of other circumstances.
Yeah.
Especially I have repoed from funeral homes. I have repoed from hospitals. You know what I mean?
From
If you
HEB?
just don't be a jackass with the recovery agent,
Yeah.
and you'll see that they do have a heart.
Okay.
You'll see, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to say that they're going to let you go all the time. You know what I mean? But
Right.
they're human just like you are.
Yeah.
And they have compassion. Just don't be a bully,
Right.
because a bully it's not going to end for you well. If you're a bully,
Yeah.
the minute that the repo agent shows up, you can't take my car. You're in the driveway, right? We
Right.
can take it. Legally, you can. Now, it's in an inside enclosure, you can't. Lock gate, we can't break the lock and get in there.
Right.
But if it's an open, we can. Because you got to remember, a customer, when he or she goes to finance a car, you are giving the bank authorization that if you default on that loan, you are giving them complete authorization to go and recover that car wherever it's at.
Yeah.
It's in the contract that you sign. But you get a lot of Billy the Kids out there that when you go to their house, you can't do this and you can't do that, and that's just not going to end well. Like you're end up 90% your vehicle's coming with us. But if you just open up the lines of communication, you know what? Yes, I'm behind, but you know what? I'm going to turn it into you, but don't do it now. I swear, like I'm going to go Monday to your office and I'll
Right.
surrender it to you. A lot of times you're going to get the response of, okay, cool, and we'll leave it there.
Nice, man.
I've told my agents, just if it gets too hot, just leave it, man. Just leave it. Work with them, talk to them, be patient, be cool. Don't escalate being as rowdy as they are. Don't do that. Don't do that. Be chill. Just be chill.
And that's one of the problems that we see today, man, where people do not communicate. There's nobody likes to confront the stuff. And you guys are doing the confrontation like, dude, I'm taking it. This is what's going to happen. And that's where you don't know how to react. And why do you react the way you do? And it shows that there's fear. And how do you hide fear with anger? And you start peacocking. And that shows a lot about the individual. But I like the approach that you're saying, like, hey, let's just talk, man. Like, let's be real. I know I'm not going to be your friend, and I know you're going to hate me no matter what. But it's my job.
But it can be a lot smoother for you
right.
if we just work it out. Like, okay, I'm not going to pick you up here in front of your friends, but I'll give you ideas. Tell them it's going to the shop. You know what I mean? What am I going to tell my wife? And just tell them it's going to the shop. You know what I mean? And work it out tomorrow. You have the money. Okay, you just pay it tomorrow and you get your car back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't want your car. They don't want it. They want your money. They don't want the car. So they'll work with you to get it back. Now, if you're a complete jerk, when we get there and you start threatening, it has to go in the report. So the report's going to say that, and the finance company will see, well, this guy's a troubled customer. Then they won't give you. They're going to hold you for the balance.
Right.
And they have the option when you buy that car, you sign, not only letting us repossess it, you also sign that they can escalate the loan for the payoff.
Don't hate
So don't, exactly.
Yeah.
Be cool and work with them. And you'll be surprised how much they will work with you to make sure you stay in that vehicle.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Exactly.
That's what it comes down
to.
Dude, if I would say, just off of this picture, I thought you were going to be a tech nerd. But you're a total cool cat. You're totally something different. You've created something amazing. You've done great things in the community. You always give back to the community. You have a great team, an amazing wife, great kids. Everything has been good. You actually just got yourself another cool car, and that's awesome. And I know that's one thing you don't like. I'm not here to like brag about
Peacock.
it.
I'm not here to show you
and
my
you're not,
feathers.
And you're not like that, dude. And I know you're not, because everybody's like, he's mad. I was like, no, he's not. Like, he's not mad. He's a cool cat. Like, he really
You
does
just
me
have to
well.
know me. Yeah, I have that serious face,
And that's fine. That's cool.
Yeah, I
No,
have
no,
that serious
it's
face.
totally cool, man. And one of the things I wanted to ask you, when we're wrapping it up, man, is there anything from all these experiences that you've done from working with your dad? Those are great experiences, and then you go into the military. Thank you for the service, for defending freedom. We're joking about that, but and then doing the businesses, the crazy popping wheelies, and all of the Red Bull, the cigarettes, the creating a great business that nobody gave it to you. You made it, and then you absorbed your
I
parent.
absorbed my father's wrecker
And
service.
that-
Yeah, I absorbed that, but I had put in my time.
Right,
And don't
yeah.
be confused. The people out there say, oh, he's there because his dad. Yeah, his dad showed me where the doors were,
But all
I
of
had
that-
to walk through them.
All
He
of
didn't
that,
open them
Chris,
for me.
it took time.
Time.
And you added a lot to your plate, meaning that you've added stuff, but you had to sacrifice things. Was there something that you did that you feel like, man, I had to sacrifice that?
You know, there is a little bit, and that's just spending time with when my firstborn daughter. I didn't spend a lot of time with my wife did, raising her,
Right.
and my middle son, because I was always working. I would leave at 4 a.m. and not get home until 7, 8 at night. Sometimes at 11 at night, because I'm just looking for cars, and in between looking for cars, I'm doing record calls and doing stuff that I would be in the middle of trying to do a repo, and my dad would call, hey, I need you to go do this call. I've got nobody. And I was always doing something. So one thing that I do regret is not spending enough father time. I don't know, and I want to be honest, man. I mean, I'm opening up here. Sometimes I struggle being a father.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like because my dad was not, like we said earlier, he wasn't the traditional dad.
Yeah.
Mijo, let me show you about when girls, ladies, women do this. No, man, it was like, I'm going to show you how to make money, and this is where we are at. You know what I mean? This no, Mijo love and Mijo this. It wasn't like that. And I don't resent that. It built me to where I am right now.
Right.
But one of the things I do regret is not knowing how to be a father to my kids. And thank God that their mother knew how to do that. And, they have not saying I have a bad relationship with them. I don't.
No, I know.
But I
get
don't
it.
give them the fatherly advice. My sons will never come up to me and ask me, Dad, I'm having trouble with this girl. She's do this. What do I do? Like they won't, because I don't know how. I could sure talk to them, but I'm not.
I get it.
It's hard to explain, but it's not the father figure that I want to be. And sometimes I'm a little uncomfortable around my own kids. I'm a little uncomfortable because I was never around that when I was young.
Yeah.
My dad wasn't around.
Yeah, dude.
He was always working, making it. Now, did we not have the things that I needed when I was younger? He was a great provider. Oh man, whatever we needed, schools, food, clothes.
And
he had a home to live, and my mom had a car to drive us to school and all that. He was the greatest provider.
Yeah.
But I never went fishing and hunting and with him, and talked about
And I think
everyday
that's
life with him, and had a relationship like that.
And I could relate to that, dude, because I know my father. Father was great man. He would take me fishing. He would do all those great things, but there was a part where we wouldn't do more of like, I love you, son, or like, come over here.
Yeah.
Like,
I would try. If I wanted to go hug my dad, he would tell me, get out. What's the matter with you? He would tell me like, what's the matter with you?
I even do that with my
Things like
sisters,
that.
dude. Like we trash talk to each other, like, oh, you were adopted or whatever. Like we'll say things like that, but it's the way we were brought up and we were raised.
Yep.
And I think that's where sometimes we fall into this thing. And you said it right now, like, dude, I don't hate my dad. I love
Not
my
at
dad.
all. Yeah,
like, he
not
taught
at
me a
all.
lot, and it reminds me of the song, the Johnny Cash song, "My Boy Named Sue," and it's you have to hear the song, and it's similar to that. But what's nice, man, and what I like is that we learn from those things, and your dad was the best dad that he could be with the limited resources
That's what I think too. He was the best he could be.
And you're doing the same thing. You're doing this. You're being the best dad you can be for your family, being the leader in your house, and with an amazing woman that you have. And that's what's nice, man. You're not giving up, and what you're just saying right now, just sharing and being open, being raw. Like that's what's missing in today's society. And that is one of the coolest things, dude. Out of all of your success, all the things that you've done, and the possessions and all of that, the one thing I've always admired you for is just to like, this is who I am, and I'm just open, and this is it. I'm not here to please you.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna, I'm gonna act the way I act. I'm gonna dress the way I want to dress.
Yeah.
I may not be the suit and tie guy, but I still get things done that you want me to get done for you.
And that's awesome, man.
And I don't need to. I don't believe that I need to pretend somebody that I'm not, and I'm not the loudest person in the room by far. I'm very quiet.
I know.
Super quiet. Even in my HIT class that I know everybody, and whoever's watching this from my class, I never say a word. I'm very, very quiet everywhere I go, and that's why you said, is he mad? He looked at me. No, it's like I'm not serious, but once you talk to me, it's like, oh shit, I didn't know that. He's cool after all, you know what I mean? But when I first saw him from afar, like I'm not even getting near that guy, you know what I mean? Because he looks like he wants to just hurt me, and I don't even know him, and I guess I give that vibe off, but I'm far from it, I think.
Yeah.
But don't take it wrong. I will tell you to go fuck off in a minute. But still, at the same time, you know what I mean? Like I'm not a total dick, I'm just not, and I try not to be.
I know you're not. And I have another friend of mine, dude, and he's a very good friend of mine. I consider him like a brother, just like I consider you. And we joke around, we talk about stuff, and it's fun, man. It's good to have those honest relationships with people. The only downfall that he has is that he's not a Star Wars fan. And you are, dude. So we can talk and talk about a bunch of stuff. And
Star Wars is cool.
I mean, to the point where you're like, you should watch Star Trek. I'm like, what? Like, dude, you're
That's right.
You're
I remember
geek,
telling
bro.
you years
I'm
ago.
like, no, bro, I'm not doing that. And I watched it, and it's like, my guy was real.
It was
This
good.
is solid.
Yeah.
But
Star Trek, Star Wars. I mean, Star Trek's my second. Star Wars is my first.
I know.
But yeah, I'm a sci-fi. I'm a geek too, man. I'm a nerd.
And
I'm definitely a nerd.
That is a cool thing, bro.
Yeah.
So he's a business owner, Laredo business owner, and a great husband, a great father, and he's Jack and Juicy. He's only taken by Mippy. That's it. Nobody else. So don't even touch that.
I'm married for over 35 years. There's no way that.
And Mippy does a lot of HIT workouts also. And
she's over there laughing.
She's gonna get you. All right. She's rowdy. Don't let her fool you, because if you push her, she'll go down.
I don't even entertain the thought. I don't even entertain the thought. You kidding me? I got everything I need.
Out of all of this,
what do you
man,
mean?
I am very grateful, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to do this. And I want to bring you back. And if is there anything we can do to help, always count on us. We're here.
Likewise with me too,
I
man.
wear the shirt 100%, and continue doing what you're doing, man. All right?
Yeah, badass.
Chris,
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
thank you very much, brother.
Awesome, bro. Awesome. Nice. And that's a wrap.
Wrap.